of you and me, Ranu.
Oh, okay. So Damodar just said that the reason why it's not showing up, like,
We're not live yet.
Dhruva Prabhu. Dhruva Maharaj Prabhu. So the only reason why is just because we haven't started the meeting yet. As soon as we start the meeting, it should all work out. Yeah, we're not live yet. Okay, so we're about to start in a minute. Ugh. I just realized something. I don't have access to that list. Okay, we're live now. Welcome to Village of Vrindavan 2020. This is year number 14 for Village of Vrindavan. We're so excited to have everybody on board. It's a shame that COVID has kept us from being able to do our usual thing, but the eternal glories of Vrindavan for us here, you know, in the seva that's taken up must go on. So welcome to Village of Vrindavan 2020. Hare Krishna. So the first temple needs to be pinned now. Dama.
Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Oh Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Kalindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahavan Kalindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahavan Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Jaya Vrindavan Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We've gathered today to celebrate Janmashtami and the auspicious appearance of Krishna. Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. And so whenever we chant Krishna's names, whenever we remember Vrindavan Dham, then Krishna is present. And so as Raghu just said before, usually we're able to gather and celebrate our village of Vrindavan together in each other's direct company, not just by the Vani, by the sound, but by Vapu in person. But at this time now, we get to maybe dig deeper into the mood of Vrindavan in our own homes, in our own hearts, with our own families. So I'm one of the hosts today of this village of Vrindavan. My name is Vishwambar, and I'm here with my father, Bhadradas. Both of us, well, my father has circumambulated all of Vraj over 38 times, I think now. 33 times. He's walked all around Vraj, and he's taken me with him since I was 5 years old. He took me on these walking pilgrimages all around Vrindavan, all around Vraj, all of the land of Vraj. And so today we have the good fortune, by the grace of the Village of Vrindavan team based here in Alachua, Florida, to share the glories of Vrindavan Dham and to go on a virtual tour of each of the temples. And the beautiful thing about this virtual tour is that the devotees here in Alachua, there's so many devotees here, and all of them have the actual deities and the names of the deities that are from the main temples of Vrindavan. So we have our own replica of Vrindavan Dham here in New Ramanreti. And first, let us make our way to enter into the land of Vrindavan. It is said that we must get the blessings of 5 personalities, and we will get the blessings of these 5 personalities today. First, we start out with Haridasa Varya, the greatest bhakta of Krishna Balaram, of Radhe Shyam, is Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. And so if we can see the beautiful Giriraj Shilas of His Grace Chaturatma Prabhu, some of these Shaligram, some of these Govardhan Shilas have been worshipped for over 500 years. He has a pastime for each one of these amazing Shilas. And we have the good fortune of getting Giriraj's darshan today. I think they're pinned. I'm not sure if Giriraj is pinned or not. I may be looking at the wrong screen, but Jai Giriraj Maharaj. Giriraj can be worshipped in 2 ways. One is as Hari himself, as Krishna himself, and the other one is as Haridasa Varya, the greatest servant of Hari. So it is only by Krishna, there we go, there's Giriraj Maharaj. Now we see these beautiful collection of shaligrams, of Govardhan Shilas that are worshipped by Chaturatma Prabhu. I think that Chaturatma Prabhu, he puts a verse up almost every day about Giriraj Maharaj. He shares on his Facebook 1 verse a day. And he's been doing this for many, many years. And still, the glories of Govardhan, the glories of Giriraj Maharaj are endless. That Ananta Dev, who has millions and millions of mouths, is constantly singing these glories. So we have a few minutes to take darshan of this unique collection of Govardhan Shilas. And Chaturatma Prabhu, he will also be taking us on a parikram, on a circumambulation of Govardhan. So we get to vicariously do Govardhan parikram with him. Govardhan has not only been the playground for Krishna and Balaram, but it is the place where the most intimate leelas of Radha and Krishna are performed within those caves on Govardhan Hill. And Govardhan is so great that not only does Krishna step on Govardhan, but Krishna has accepted Govardhan to be even in a way greater than himself. And so he lifted Giriraj Maharaj with the pinky of his left hand and held Govardhan above above their heads like umbrellas to protect all the Brijabasis. There's a beautiful verse that we pray to Govardhan, to Giriraj today. We say, Namaste Girirajaya Govardhana Namine Ashesha Klesha Nashaya Paramananda Daine. Oh Giriraj Maharaj, Namaste Girirajaya, you are known as Govardhan. Ashesha Klesha Nashaya, you remove the sufferings, unlimited amounts of sufferings, of disturbances. And Paramananda Daine, you are the bestower of the highest benediction of love of Krishna. I would love to request His Grace Chaitatma Prabhu to speak for 2 minutes about the glories of his Lord, Giriraj Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. So we are here at Giriraj Kunj, as we call it. Govardhan is surrounded by 3 different types of jasmine, 3 different types of gardenias, banana trees, champak, and of course flanked on either side by tulsi. So he has a virtual garden here. And as it is just rained, it is very fresh. Towering above him, giving shade from the sun, is a beautiful, magnificent crepe myrtle that regularly drops flower blossoms onto Govardhan. Many mornings I come out and Govardhan's covered with these flower blossoms. So by the grace of Giriraj, we've been able to collect a variety of Shilas from all the major, this beautiful stamba with cows, tulsi, and in this way be reminded in our hearts daily as we worship him of our favorite praise, that is Govardhan.
Jai Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai.
It is the duty of every Vaishnava.
Prabhu.
It is the duty of every Vaishnava to do Govardhan Parikram. Some of us will only be able to do it virtually, so I will assist in serving all of you by taking you on Govardhan Parikram as we go around.
Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan, 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 Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jai Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you, Prabhuji, for taking us on the parikram of Govardhan. We offer our respects to Govardhan and ask his permission to allow us to enter into the mood of Sri Vrindavan Dham. Jai Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Next, we make our way down the path, the Chatikara Road, 6-kilometer road. We turn off of the highway coming and we go 6 kilometers on the Chatikara Road. And we make our way down what they call the Bhaktivedanta Swami Marg, the road that is named after Srila Prabhupada, that personality who spread love for Radha and Krishna and shared Vrindavan with the world. And we make our way through the archway where the Krishna Balaram, the Bhaktivedanta Swami gate. And as we make our way, we see on the left this beautiful marble temple, the Samadhi of Srila Prabhupada. And we are able to enter into the temple of Krishna Balaram. And my father will take over from here.
Hare Krishna Prabhus, thank you for allowing me to serve all of you. And we are all serving together about this village of Vrindavan. Actually, this is the way to go Manasi Parikrama. We cannot go right now, but we can do Manasi Parikrama, and also we can talk about the glories of. That is the most important thing. Walking is the best, but beside walking is the actually hearing the glories of those different places. So next one is the Krishna Balaram temple. And everybody is familiar with the Krishna Balaram temple, but there are two questions about this Krishna Balaram temple. One is that why Krishna Balaram temple? And second is the who created Krishna Balaram temple? So when we say this is the, I'm just quoting the Brahmanand Prabhu, when there was a 40th anniversary of Krishna Balaram temple, he put these two questions out to all the devotees in the audience. Why Krishna Balaram temple? Because as you see, there is no Krishna Balaram temple anywhere. There is no Krishna Balaram deities anywhere in the Braj. For whole Braj, there is no Krishna Balaram together. So why Krishna Balaram temple? So then he quoted the Srila Prabhupada's from Chaitanya Charitamrita, from Madhya Lila, text, chapter 16, and text is the text 281. And in that, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning about the Krishna Balaram temple. And I'm just going to read that because these are the 2 points very important for us in our lives and for listening audience also. It's why it is important to hear, of course. So here it is said in the Madhya Lila, Srila Prabhupada is writing that, as we know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally renovated Vrindavan Dham by having the Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami and all other Goswamis, 6 Goswamis. They went he sent them to Vrindavan in Braj to excavate all the places. All places were unmanifested, so he had them manifest. So here Srila Prabhupada is writing that at present there are about 5,000 temples in Vrindavan, and still our society, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, is constructing a huge, magnificent temple for the worship of Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram, along with Radha Krishna and Guru Gauranga. Since there is no prominent Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan, we are attempting to construct one so that people will be attracted to Krishna Balaram or Nitai Gaur Chandra. Brajendra Nandana ye se Sachi Sutta Hoilo say. Narottam Das Thakur says that Balaram and the son of Maharaj Nanda have invented themselves as Gornitai. To propagate this fundamental principle, we are establishing a Krishna Balaram temple to broadcast to the world that worship of Gornitai is the same as worship of Krishna Balaram. And then Srila Prabhupada is writing, of course, that it is difficult to enter in the Radha Krishna's pastime. For the common personality, to enter Radha Krishna pastimes means your consciousness should be on the higher level. But that is not possible. So we have the Gaurnitai and we have Krishna Balaram, and by the worship of the Gaurnitai and Krishna and Balaram, we'll be able to, hopefully in the future, by their mercy and by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, you can enter into Radha Krishna Lila. So this Krishna Balaram temple is the most important. But besides that, the question is, who created Krishna Balaram temple? That is important. And this is because as Srila Prabhupada came here in 1965, here as per the instruction of the spiritual master, to preach the glories of to preach the message of Lord Chaitanya, to broadcast every town and village. And when Srila Prabhupada came here, he first started in New York, and then he went in the West, in the California, and then he is San Francisco, and then he started in Los Angeles. But he considered, and the Los Angeles, when they moved to the Vatseka Avenue main temple, he considered that this is the main temple. Los Angeles is his main temple for all over the world, because it had all the facilities, and he wanted to establish more and more. And from there, he wanted to go everywhere else. So suddenly, he decided in 1971 he decided to go to India. And that was kind of surprise to everybody. And he was thinking he is going, at that time Rukmini Dwarkadhish was already started worshipping. And he usually, Srila Prabhupada would not reveal of his talk with the Lord. And this is he is mentioning in the Srimad Bhagavatam in the 10th canto, chapter 13, which is the last chapter Srila Prabhupada wrote before he left this planet physically. And usually when the person is going to leave, and whatever last he says is the more potent, usually. So in this case, he is writing here in the text 50, and I'm just going to read that, the few lines. He's talking about it. Now, usually he doesn't glorify himself. He doesn't write himself, about himself. But here he is mentioning about let there be a temple, and seva or devotional service is writing, because he desired to have a temple, let there be temple, he desired that. And because of his desire, he created. Before you create, you have to have a desire. And desire comes, then the creation happens. So he had that desire. Same way when he came to United States in Boston, he was thinking that how am I gonna relate this Srimad Bhagavatam message to the people who are in the mode of passion ignorance. But he desired, and because he desired, Krishna fulfilled that desire. So similarly here in the of the Krishna Balaram temple, Srila Prabhupada desired to have it. And that's why Krishna fulfilled his desire. Now he is saying, he is going in the front of the Rukmini Dwarkadhish in Los Angeles, and he's telling to the Lord that Lord is telling him, this is conversation. Lord is telling him that I want you to go to India. And he's telling, Srila Prabhupada is telling the Lord, wait a minute, but I am here and everything, this is my message here, to preach the glories here in all Western countries. No. Rukmini Dwarkadhish is telling to Srila Prabhupada that you have come from Vrindavan, you go back to Vrindavan, and I'm gonna give you, he said that I will give you a better place, and you go to Vrindavan. And that's why Srila Prabhupada in 1971 decided to go to Vrindavan with his disciple, and he started to have the Krishna Balaram temple. And that's what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in the 10th canto, 13th chapter, at text 50. You can read the last. He says, in Vrindavan there is a place where there was no temple, but devotees desired, let there be temple and seva devotional service. Therefore, what was once an empty corner has now become a place of pilgrimage. Such are the desires of a devotee. So if the devotee's desire, pure devotee desire is there, then Krishna fulfills that desire. So this is, and we know, because of the Krishna Balaram temple, whole Braj practically is so happy, because people's businesses are going up, rickshawalas, rickshaw business is going up, and as you go in the Loi Bazaar River, you can find a Srila Prabhupada deity. Why? Because he is the one who brought whole world to Vrindavan. So this is the glories of the Krishna Balaram temple.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki
We can talk more, but time is limited. So important point. These are 2 points. Thank you.
Jaya Krishna Balaram, 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 Jai Krishna Balaram ki jai. Now we make our way on the parikram path. We've bowed to Srila Prabhupada, who has manifested the spiritual world, manifested Vrindavan, allowed new Raman Reti to be a part of Vrindavan. Now we make our way and we walk along the parikram path. We passed Kaliya Da on our right, where Krishna jumped from Kaliya. And we see in the distance, as the sun is rising in the east, we look and we see this beautiful hill. And on top of that hill is the iconic temple of Madan Mohan, the most beautiful image of all of Vrindavan, this this beautiful temple on top of the hill that is iconic, and that is the signature of Vrindavan. And we get the beautiful darshan of Shri Shri Radha Madana Mohana Ki Jai. And this beautiful verse that we can chant to Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan. Jayatam Surato Pangor Mama Manda Mater Gati Matsaravasva Padam Bhojo Radha Madana Mohano.
So this Radha Madan Mohan temple, this is the Radha Madan Mohan ji is for the Sambandha, is the Adidev of the Sambandha. Lord Chaitanya has given the pathway of devotional service, which is Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. For Sambandha means the establishing of a loving relationship with the Lord. So worship is the Radha Madan Mohan. By worshipping Radha Madan Mohan, we are establishing a loving relationship with the Lord. And then of course the Abhideya will be Radha Govind Dev ji, and Prayojan will be Radha Gopinath ji. Now see, Radha Madan Mohan ji, this temple was the first temple to be built in Vrindavan. And this was by this Sanatan Goswami. It is in 1580. This temple was built, and it was built by Ramdas Kapoor by the request of Sanatan Goswami. Now these deities of this Madan Mohan means one who can even enchant Cupid. The deity of Madan Mohana, Madan Gopal, was actually, according to the information, it was actually made for Krishna's great grandson Juggernaut. For many years it was lost. And Advaita Acharya had discovered this deity at Mahavan in Gokul, this Madan Mohan. And then he served him for a while, but when he departed, when he went to Navadvip, Advaita Acharya went to Navadvip, then he gave this deity to a Brahman Choba in Mathura. And this years later, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami to Vraj to excavate all the places, at that time Sanatan Goswami was known. Sanatan Goswami even present, known to all the Brajvasis. So Sanatan Goswami used to go to Mathura for Madhukari. And at that time he saw at this Choba, Mathura, this Brahmana Choba's house, his sons were playing with his Madan Mohan. Madan Mohan was playing with them. So the Sanatan Goswami was kind of surprised. And he got a little bit upset that they are treating Madan Mohan like a boy. And they are having play with his boys. He upset with the Brahmana. So he went to the Brahmana, and he kind of little bit got upset. And he said there are rules and regulations to worship. The worship you cannot just play. But Madan Mohan came in the dream, and he said no. He said no, I don't accept your rules and regulations. He said I am one of their son, and they are treating me like a son, and I'm playing with them. But then after that, Madan Mohan came in the dream of this Brahman, and he said, you have so many sons, so please give myself to this Sanatan. So then the Brahmana came to Sanatan. They both wanted to apologize each other. So they paid obeisance each other, and then Brahmana gave this Sanatan Goswami this Madan Mohan deity. Now Sanatan Goswami was just traveling. He was a mendicant, so he would hang this Madan Mohan on his chest, and he would go around. And he do Madhukari. He didn't have anything. Whatever he got, that's what he would offer. So he would get a flour and make it dry, dough, and he would cook that, and he would offer to Madan Mohan. But Madan Mohan one time he said, wait a minute, I mean you are serving me this dry chapati, but can you put at least some salt in it? So Sanatan said, but wait a minute, Where am I going to get a salt? Today you will asking salt, tomorrow you asking me to the ghee. You will ask for the ghee. How am I going to get that? This is what I have. So Madan Mohan accepted it that. Then he wanted to build the temple. So there was a businessman, and he was passing by with his boat, Krishnadas Kapoor, and his boat kind of stuck in the Jamuna, right near the temple, because Jamuna is flowing right near the place where Sanatan Goswami used to live there, stay there. So then of course the boat stuck. Then this Madan Mohan, in the form of a cowherd boy, came to this Krishnadas Kapoor, and they said, please go on the top of the tila. There is a Babaji, Sanatan is staying. You go there. You go there and you talk to him. So he went to there. He asked Sanatan, my boat is stuck, please help me. Sanatan said, how can I help you? You pray to Madan Mohan. You pray him. Madan Mohan came and he prayed to Madan Mohan. So Mr. Kapoor prayed to Madan Mohan, and that what happened is that his boat passed through, and he went to Agra, and of course he made a profit, and he came back and he gave to Sanatan Goswami the money and said, now you build a temple. So this big temple was built by this Krishnadas Kapoor. So for the glories of Madan Mohan. And of course, Radharani wasn't there. So Radharani finally came by the king of Juggernaut Puri, his son, who brought the Radharanis for Madan Mohan, for Govindji, for all other deities. So this Madan Mohan is very important for in our life, for having the Madan Mohan for a Sambandha Jnana. It's very important. So I think there is so much to talk, but I think this is just the introduction.
Jai Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki Jai. Radha Madan Mohan Radhe, Radha Madan Mohan Radhe, Shri Radha Madan Mohan Radhe, Shri Radha Madan Mohan Radhe, Sanatanir Pranadhana hai, Sanatanir Pranadhana hai. So we make our way, as we pass Madan Mohan temple, we start to enter into the gullies, the alleyways of Vrindavan Dham. And in one of those alleyways, right between Madan Mohan and Radha Damodarji, there's the temple of Shri Shri Radha Sham Sundar, the beautiful temple that is the deities of Shyamananda Pandit. Do we have those deities, Radha Sham Sundar? And of course, the deities of our Alachua, New Raman Reti Dham are Shri Shri Radha Sham Sundar. And the deities that Srila Prabhupada established at Krishna Balarama temple are also Radha Sham Sundar. Oh Radhe Sham Jaya, 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 Radhe Sham, Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar, Radhe Shri Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar, Radhe Shyamanandir Pranadhana hai, Shyamanandir Pranadhana hai. Yes, whenever.
So Radha Shyam Sundar. This is the deity of the Shyamananda Prabhu. And Shyamananda Prabhu, he was the disciple of Hriday Chaitanya Adhikari, and his name was the Dukhi Krishnadas. And from the childhood, when he heard the pastimes, he heard Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda's pastimes, he was so interested, he was absorbed. At the age of 18, he left home, and he was roaming around, and he went to Vrindavan, and but before that he was married, but his mind was not into marriage. So he just left and he went to Vrindavan Dham. Of course, this is a whole big pastime, so time is limited, so I cannot talk about his. There is so much to discuss about this one. But anyhow, he went to the Nandagram. He roamed around in the Braj everywhere. Finally, he met Raghunath Das Goswami at Radhakund, and Raghunath Das Goswami sent him to Jiva Goswami. And he was under the Jiva Goswami, and he stayed. And Jiva Goswami told him to read all the books. He told him all the books, and he told him one thing he told him to do is the cleaning the sacred groves of Seva Kunj. And he rendered service for 12 years in the Seva Kunj. That's where Radha and Krishna perform his pastimes with the gopis. So when he was there, and he was doing that in the Bhajan Kutir, when he was sitting in the Bhajan Kutir, he absorbed in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, and he described the whole pastimes of Radha Krishna dancing with the gopis and all that. He's describing in detail, but we don't have much time to talk about it. But while during that, after Radha Krishna having that pastime, while they were dancing, one of the Manjugos anklet from the left, from the Radharani fell, and she didn't know that. She didn't realize that. But they went to Radha and Krishna went to sleep. Now early morning they would get up and they go back. The Radharani has to go to the Javat. Otherwise, see, if he doesn't go to Javat, then her mother-in-law would chastise her. So this morning they got up late, Radha and Krishna. So they had to rush. So she forgot that she had lost this Manjugos anklet from her feet. So when this Shyamananda, he was cleaning and he saw the creepers everywhere, and everywhere was everything. So he realized that yes, his dream was true. It was Radha Shyam Sundar had come here performing pastime. And when he was cleaning, he found this anklet, Manjugos anklet. And as soon as he touched the Manjugos anklet, he was completely in ecstasy. He was in ecstasy anyhow all the time. But by having this anklet coming from Radharani, he didn't know that. But he was so in ecstasy. So a voice came from the sky that please keep this anklet with you. Hide that anklet. Oh, he did it. Then when Radharani realized that anklet is lost, then she sent, Radharani came. The only way is Radharani has to come. So Radharani came and Lalita Sakhi came. And Radharani is hiding in the Kunja, and Lalita Sakhi is going in the old lady form. And she is approaching this Shyamananda and say, please, did you find the anklet? And Shyamananda wanted to test her because he wanted to make sure that am I talking with the right person? So he said, who are you? She said, Lalita Sakhi, from my old lady said, this is my anklet, my girlfriend. She was here and she had left this anklet here. Did you find it? So then he is asking. He was very intelligent. He is asking, who is she? Where did she come? Kindly give her introduction to me. Complete satisfaction. Then I will dominate. And then she is making up. She says she is a Kanya Kubja Brahmini lady, and she belonged. Her name is Radha Dasi. He says, and he said that she please. I have come to inquire about anklet. Then again he asked. He said that wise people say that wonderful things are possessed only by deserving people and not by ordinary persons. And since since your daughter-in-law is an inhabitant of this material world, the transcendental anklet cannot belong to her, he says. He was very expert. And he said, you belong to this material world, therefore my mind does not feel satisfied to part away with anklet in your favor, as you are just like the material entity and transcendental ornament. Then he said, look at your dress. Your dress doesn't seem to be you are the rich personality who would have this, this anklet. Then he is important. Then he comes to, he said that he said that all the objects in Vrindavan are transcendental and they are absolute. But those objects, and he said, those objects are not visible to materially naked eyes. And this is important because when we go to Vrindavan, we see the Vrindavan, just the dirty Vrindavan, right? We see pigs and all that. But Vrindavan is Vrindavan, it is transcendent. So of course, this ultimately he won it. They realized, and Radharani actually came. Radharani came from the two seas. She sold her farm because he didn't want to give. She sold her farm, and he actually he gave that anklet. And actually he went in the pastimes of that kunjas. He changed the body by the mercy of, he changed the body, and he went in that pastimes with Radha and Krishna. And then he didn't want to come back. But Radharani said, no, you have to go back. You have to go back. But he said, I don't want to go back. I'm in an association of you both, Radha Shyam Sundar. He said, why you don't want me to go? Why? No, you go back. He said he was crying. So then Radharani himself manifested the deity of Shyam Sundar and gave it to him. And here he said, you worship this deity. When you worship deities, it will be same as you are in the Golok Vrindavan. And then that way he established these Shyam Sundar deities, which is those deities given by Radharani herself to him, and he worshipped, and that's the same Shyam Sundar is right now present in the temple where Radha Shyam Sundar. There is more thing to talk about it, but this is the sum of the brief. This is one of the description of Radha Shyam.
Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. Radhe Shyam Jaya Radhe Shyam. Radhe Shyam Jaya Radhe Shyam. Now we make our way down the alleyway that leads to Loi Bazaar. We pass Shyam Sundar Temple, and on our right we'll see the Mirabai Temple, the Temple of Mirabai. One of the beautiful songs of Mirabai, she says, Avat modi galiyan mein giridhari avat mori galiyan mein giridhari. We see Mirabai here, the beautiful deity of Mirabai, singing to her Giridhari, to her beloved Lord. Let me share this here. And I came across a beautiful bhajan that I would like to share with you. Mirabai, she was a princess from the Rajput families of Rajasthan, but defying all social norms, she decided that she would be a sadhvi, a wandering woman mendicant, and she just had her ektar, and she would travel around singing the beautiful glories of her Giridhari. And there's this story that we hear where Mirabai, she made her way to Vrindavan. And well, I would love to share this beautiful song that I just came across, where Mirabai is praising Lord Chaitanya. We hear that sometimes that we don't, in the Gaudiya Vaishnav tradition, we're not always so familiar with the songs and the songs of Mirabai. But I came across this beautiful jewel of a song that is written by Mirabai to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this song, she says, Ab to Hari Naam Dhuna lo lagi. Now I am addicted to the holy names of Hari. All the world, they say that you are the stealer of butter, but now you have come as a sannyasi. Where is your flute? Where are all your gopis? Where is your crown? Instead, you now have a shaved head. Before you were in the dark color of a rain cloud, Sham Kishore, but now you have come as Gaura, the Golden Lord, and you are known as Chaitanya. You used to wear yellow silken cloth, but now you wear a simple kopin, a loincloth. Gaura Krishna ki dasi mira, jasana Krishna bane. That she says that this maidservant of Gaura Krishna, of the golden Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is just chants the holy names of Hari. So I'd like to sing this song for just a couple of moments before we move to our next temple. Ab to Hari naam lo lagi, ab to Hari naam lo lagi. Sab jag bolat माखन चोर नाम धरो वैरागी अब तो हरि नाम दो लागी अब तो हरि नाम लो लागी कहाँ छाड़ी बहु मोहन मुरली कहाँ छाड़ी सब गोपी. Where's your flute? Where are your gopis? मोरा मुंडाई गौरा कटी बांधी माने न मानी गोपी. This gopi, Mirabai, she knows you don't have your flute, you don't have your gopis, you don't have your crown, you don't have your pitambara, your golden, your silken cloth. But I know who you really are. पीताम्बर को भाव दिखावे कटि को पिन बसे गौर कृष्ण की दासी मीरा जसन कृष्ण बने अब तो हरि नाम लो लागी अब तो हरि नाम लो लागी. Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we make our way. Jai Mira Bhai ki Jai, Giridhari Gopal ki Jai. Thank you so much to Lali and Narada for sharing their beautiful temple with us of Mirabai's Radha Giridhari. And now we make our way further down that alleyway to the most auspicious, Srila Prabhupada called this the center of the universe, Shri Shri Radha Damodar Ji, the place where Srila Prabhupada reside and where his quarters are, and which are the deities of Jiva Goswami Pranadhana Hai, Jiva Goswami Pranadhana Hai, Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe, Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe, Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe.
This Radha Damodar is important for us, this deity in this temple. As Vishwambar mentioned, it is important for us because this is where Srila Prabhupada prayed. He stayed in Radha, his bhajan kutir is still there, his place is still there, his kitchen and his staying place is there. And behind that, there is a Rupa Goswami, the Samadhi is there, bhajan kutir is there. And Srila Prabhupada, this is where Srila Prabhupada prayed. And there is so much to talk about it, but the time is limited. So this temple was established by Srila Jiva Goswami in 1542, and this deity of Radha Damodar was given to him by Srila Rupa Goswami, Prabhupada. He had given him. And of course, then there is also in this temple, there is besides Radha Damodar, there is also Radha Vrindavan Chandra, there is a Radha Madhava, there is also Radha Chal Chikan, and there is also Govardhan Shila worshipped by Sanatan Goswami. So when you go to Radha Damodar temple, in case if you are not able to do Govardhan Parikrama, you can go to Radha Damodar temple and you can do the Parikrama of Radha Damodar for 7 times or 10 times, whatever it is. Then that will be equal to performing the Govardhan Parikrama. Now it is mentioned that Srila Jiva Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami were there already in Vrindavan, and then Jiva Goswami came. Jiva Goswami came. He was a nephew, and he was given he was told to stay under the direction of Srila Rupa Goswami. Now Rupa Goswami was expert in drawing and preparing the deities. So Rupa Goswami had obtained a black marble from the Vindhya mountain in the month of Kartik. And he had personally carved this deity. He had personally carved and installed and offered the deity of Radha Damodar to intimate disciple Srila Jiva Goswami. So this deity which you see in the Radha Damodar temple is the original deity carved by Srila Rupa Goswami. See? And some people say that Radha Damodar is this Pratibhu Murti. No, according to them, the Pratibhu Murti is smaller than the regular Murti. But this Murti is regular Murti. So that's why this deity, when the Aurangzeb came, and he was breaking up all the temples, and at that time Govind Devji, Madan Mohanji, of course I forgot to tell you, Madan Mohanji, original Madan Mohanji is in the Karoli in Rajasthan. So here is Pratibhu Murti. But as far as Radha Damodar is concerned, this deity had gone with Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govind Devji, they had gone to Rajasthan because king of Rajasthan was very, very pious. But then Radha Damodar were brought back here, and the Pratibhu Murti is there in the Rajasthan. So this is the original deity of Radha Damodar is there, and it is it was originally carved by the Rupa Goswami. Also, of course, in Radha Madan Mohan temple, there is, as we know the Srila Prabhupada's Bhajan Kutir. That is the most important place for us. This is where he started this Krishna consciousness movement. He prayed. He was so absorbed there. He lived like a mendicant in Vrindavan, in the Radha Damodar temple. He would beg for the Madhukari himself. That was the situation of Srila Prabhupada. And he did it. And he would cry. He would at night grow. He would go to Rupa Goswami. From his kitchen, he was able to see, from his kitchen window, able to see the Samadhi of Rupa Goswami. At the night, in the middle of the night, he would go and he would clean the courtyard of his Samadhi, and he would cry. Because he wanted the mercy of this. Because he wanted to fulfill the message given, his instruction given by his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, to preach this message. And of course he did it. So Radha Damodar temple is important for us. And please, when you visit, please visit that temple and visit also you will visit the deities.
Namami Shwaram Sachidanandarupam Vasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashoda Biyolukala Dhavamanam Paramishtamatyantato Drusagopya. Jai Shri Radha Damodar Ji ki Jai. Thank you so much. The beautiful candles. We can offer the light of our spirit, the light of our hearts to Sri Sri Radha Damodar, who loves to receive. And also, Prabhu, the names, another reason why the names of Radha Damodar are so dear to our hearts is that the traveling Sankirtan party was called the Radha Damodar Traveling Sankirtan Party. So we feel great affection for Radha Damodar, Vishnu Jan Swami, and Tamal Krishna Maharaj and others. They took these deities and traveled all around to the universities all around the world, sharing the glories of Sri Sri Radha Damodar. Now they're in Gita Nagari. Jai. Now we make our way to the beautiful temple of Radha Ramanji, the beloved of our hearts, the smallest deity of them all, but the most beautiful, and with his beautiful, big, large conch eyes, and each part of his body being resembling exactly the form of Krishna. Jai Jai. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. 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 Jai Shri Shri Radha Ramanji ki Jai.
So this Radha Ramanji, this is the deity of our dear Gopal Bhatt Goswami. And this Radha Raman temple is one of the most exquisite crafted and revered temple in Vrindavan. Radha Raman means one who gives pleasure to Radha. And this Radha Raman is the one of the few original deities still left in Vrindavan. Just like Radha Damodar, this is the original deity. And it is said that in this place, the cooking fire in the temple kitchen have been burning continuously since the deity was installed over 460 years ago. And the cooking still follows the cookbook from that time. So when you visit Radha Damodar temple, you can also, Radha Raman temple, please visit the kitchen. And many devotees go. And of course, all the dressings is exquisite. Actually, Srila Prabhupada also liked it. And Srila Prabhupada also, some devotees also learned their dressing and their exquisite beauty of how they dress this Radha Ramanji. Now it is said that, of course, we know about the Gopal Bhatt Goswami. He was from South India. He was the son of Venkat Bhatt Goswami from Srirangam. And Lord Chaitanya had gone there for Chaturmasya. He stayed at the Venkat Bhatt Goswami's place. And at that time, Gopal Bhatt Goswami was a little boy, but he served him. He served Lord Chaitanya. And then after that, of course, after his parents slept, then he was told to go to Vrindavan. But before he went to Vrindavan, then he went, Lord Chaitanya personally told him to go, if you want to have my darshan, he said, because he didn't meet Lord Chaitanya after that. So Lord Chaitanya came in dream and said, if you want to have my darshan, please go to Nepal. And Nepal, he went there, and he came to the river called Gandaki, and after taking bath with his kamandalu, he was trying to get the water. Then what happened? His kamandalu is filled with all the shilas, Shaligram shilas. Then again he put the Shaligram shilas back. Again he tried to fill up the kamandal. Again all the shilas came. So like that, he did it. Few times he did, but same Shaligram shila would come. So finally he decided they would bring the shilas back to Vrindavan. And after returning Vrindavan, when he had the shilas, one of the wealthy devotee, he gave him the dresses and ornaments for his deity. but then he has a Shaligram Shila. How can he dress them? He was thinking, how am I going to dress with this nice, beautiful dress you have given me? So he was thinking that way. So he was sleeping, and when he woke up, then one of the Shila had turned into form of the beautiful Radharamanji. So the name was given Radharamanji, and he was in full ecstasy. He was desiring that I wish I can serve you in your full form, and Krishna fulfilled the desire. This is the beauty about the pure devotee. Pure devotee desire, and Krishna fulfills the desires. Just like Srila Prabhupada desires, and we are just the mercy cases. By his mercy, he desires. We ask him, Srila Prabhupada desire, and it happens. See? So this is the Radharaman temple. Is most when we go to Vrindavan, please visit this temple, and it's the most beautiful deity of Radharaman.
Jai Jai Radha Ramana, Jai Jai Radha Ramana, Jai Jai Radha Ramana, Hari Bol. 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 Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana, Hari Bol. Thank you very much to Hari Puja Mata and Kirti Raj Prabhu for sharing your beautiful deities of Radha Raman with us. Now we move on to the most merciful lotus feet of Parama Karuna Nitai Gaur Chandra Ki Jai, the presiding deities of the Festival of the Holy Name, the heart and soul of our Kirtan community here in New Raman Reti. And today they are dressed beautifully like Krishna and Balaram. Look at Brajendra Nandana Jai Sachi Suta Hoilo Se Balaram Hoilo Nitai. Lord Chaitanya, when he went to Vrindavan Dham, he sat in a place known as Imli Tala. And as he sat under this tree, it is said that his body became bluish like Shyam Sundar, like Krishna. And the people of Vraj, the people of Vrindavan, they saw this personality sitting under this Imli Tala, completely absorbed in the mood of Krishna and having taken on even the color of Krishna. And similarly, in the same place, under that same tree, once Krishna sat there. And when Krishna sat there, he was remembering his manifestation as how he would come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of Srimati Radharani. And so his form became golden, remembering Srimati Radharani. And here is Nityananda Prabhu as Balaram with his plow. Where these deities of Nitai Gaur Chandra are the most mercifully allowing us to chant the holy names, regardless of anything, regardless of our gender or our knowledge or our status in the community. Everyone is invited to chant for Nitai Gaur Chandra. Parama Karuna Pahudui Jana Nitai Gaura Chandra Savay Avatar Sarasi Ramani Kevalayananda Kanda Kevalayananda Kanda Parama Karuna Gaurachandra ki jai. In Vrindavan, in this place, there is the temple of Sonar Garanga. Sonar means golden, and Gauranga also means golden. This beautiful deity was brought to Vrindavan by the desire of, I believe it was Juggernaut Das Babaji Maharaj, who wanted that a deity of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu be worshipped in Vrindavan. And so this temple of Sonar Gauranga, the golden form, the golden dancer, is there in Vrindavan Dham. And we're so blessed today to have the darshan of Nitai Gaurachandra representing our Sonar Gauranga temple in Vrindavan. These are the deities of Gaurashakti and Krishna Dama and their wonderful family, and they preside over the festival of the holy name. Gauranga! And Garanga! And now we make our way through another one of the alleyways of Vrindavan. These alleyways, if you look around the corner of this alleyway, you may see Krishna peeking out from the corner, or you may find a pig eating the sewer. But either way, Krishna is there. And if we look and we have the divine eyes and we open our ears, maybe we'll hear the sound of Krishna's flute. And so now we make our way to the temple of Sri Sri Radha Gokulananda. Vishwanath, right?
No, by the Yavishna Chakra Thakur.
Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radhe. Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radhe. Vishwanathir Prana Dhana Hai. Vishwanathir Prana Dhana Hai. Vishwanathir Prana Dhana Hai. Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radhe. Radha Gokulananda ki jai.
This is the deity of the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is important in our life because all the commentaries of Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada always quoted the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary. Of course, Jiva Goswami's commentary, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, Sanatan Goswami's commentary. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary always quoted. So about this deity, I'm just going to read it. It's not a big, I don't have much, little material I have. Here it says, one day a brahmachari who had a deity named Gokulananda. The deity appeared to him in a dream and told him that I want to be worshipped by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Please bring me to him. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he was also mendicant. He was living in the Braj, but he was mendicant. He didn't do anything. But Gokulananda telling to brahmachari, please bring me to him. So the brahmachari went to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and said that please take care of this deity, Thakurji Seva. Please take care. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said, I don't have anything. I am renounced it. What can it use to worship the deity? I am not qualified. The brahmachari begged him, but he said, no. How can I take such a responsibility? I have no such qualification. Listen to this. I mean, he's a great personality, but how humble he is. And I have no means. So brahmachari went back. And then the Gokulananda appeared to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and told that no, it is my desire that you worship me. And simultaneously, this deity also appeared to the brahmachari and said, go back and give me to him. The brahmachari said, but how can I go? He already said no. Then deity said, no, he will not refuse anymore. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in the very place of Radha Vinod temple of Goloknath Goswami, spent so many years of his life worshipping Radha Gokulananda and established wonderful temple there. In that temple also is one of the deities of Lord Chaitanya, personally worshipped by Narottam Das Thakur. And also the great Gaudiya Vaishnava Vedanta Acharya Baldev Vidyabhushan, his deity of Vijay Govinda is in Radha Gokulan temple. And also Govardhan Shila that Lord Chaitanya personally gave with his own fingerprint in the Shila to Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. So it is important when we go to Vrindavan, it would be nice to visit this temple and have a darshan of this Govardhan Shila also. So this is the one of the pastimes of the Radha Gokulananda.
Imagine that. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had this Govardhan Shila, and it says that in this Govardhan Shila is the thumbprint of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he was always massaging this Govardhan Shila, and he would hold the Shila on his head, and he would cry and bathe the Shila with his tears and smell the Shila, and then he gave that Shila to Raghunath Das Thakur, Raghunath Das Thakur, Raghunath Das Goswami, and the temple of Radha Gokulananda is so wonderful. It also has the samadhis of Narottam Das Thakur and so many of these great acharyas that shared Krishna consciousness through their teachings and through their writings, and that have been now spread throughout the world by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So there's a beautiful quick story I'd also like to tell about Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, where some people, they were a little inimical towards him. So they sent these dacoits to try and kill Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And he was sitting in a grove, in a forest grove, chanting, in his bhajan, chanting. And when they came there, they didn't see him. They saw just a little girl. They saw this little Manjari girl, a little like 5-6-year-old girl picking flowers there. And immediately, as soon as they saw her, they were completely enchanted by her beauty. And they forgot that they were there to try and hurt Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And that is because in his bhajan, he was that small Manjari picking flowers for Radha Gokulananda. And in his bhajan, he had actually manifested himself in that way for those people who are inimical. So here we have the beautiful deities of Radha Gokulananda. And next we make our way to the temple of Radha Gopinath. Thank you so much. Shishi Radha Gokulananda ki jai. The one who gives pleasure and bliss to all of Gokul. Jai Shishi Radha Gopinath ki jai. All right. Shriman Rasarasarambi Vamsi Vatatata Stitaha Karshan Venu Swaner Gopi Gopinath Shriyestunaha Gopinath 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 Gopinath.
This Radha Gopinath, this is the Prayojana. We talk about Sambandha, Abhideya. Vishwambhar will talk when Radha Govinda will talk. He will talk about the Abhideya and Prayojana, aim of this. And Gopinath is the Nath of all the gopis. And this deity was actually carved during Krishna's great grandson Vajranath. During that time, this deity was given and was found by a great Vaishnava, Paramananda Bhattacharya, right at the Vamsivat tree. This Gopinath deity was found, and Gopinath played his flute and attracted the heart of all the gopis under Vamsivat tree. So right there is a Vamsivat tree. As you go in the Vrindavan, you will find it. Of course, these deities. Now, of course, there is a katha about these Radharanis, because all these deities had no Radharani. So that the deities of Radharanis were brought from the King Pratap, the son. His name Purushottam Jan, and he had sent the deities of Radharanis, because these Goswamis, Radharanis were not worshipping, Radharani were not there, but they were, for them to Goswamis, Radharani was within their heart, you see. But for the public, they wanted to, so these deities Radharani were brought to worship. Now this is the deity of the Madhu Pandit, who worship this Gopinath with great love and devotion. And of course, the Janava Mata is a whole big pastime, and I don't have much time to talk about it. But the Janavi Devi, here it says that Janavi Devi, she came to Vrindavan, and when she came to Vrindavan, she would visit all the temples. And she would cook for the deities. And she would also help to dress the deities. She would cook for all the deities. So she would go to all the temples, and at that time she had also come to the she came to Radha Gopinath temple, and she saw that Gopinath did have a deity of Radharani, but she was just thinking Gopinath is so big and Radharani is so small, they don't match. She saw. But then she was thinking, who am I to say how they should match? So they did not say when she was in temple, but she didn't say anything, she left. But then the deities came in the dream, appeared and said that, no, whatever you're thinking is correct. Radharani is too small for me. This is Gopinath is saying, Radharani is too small for me. You should have another deity made of Srimati Radharani that is harmonious with my size, and you should put her on the lap, and this little Radharani, you should put it on my right hand side. See? And then Radharani appeared in that little deity. Srimati Radharani in that little deity form spoke. She said, whatever my beloved Gopinath has said is correct. That is exactly what I feel, and I wish for you to do. Please do so. So when she went to Bengal, she had now Janavi Devi is none other than Anang Manjari. So she had this Radharani had carved, and they were brought by the boat, and there is whole pastime about it. But anyhow, this Radharani was brought to the Vrindavan, and this Radharani is next to the Krishna. Gopinath was installed there. So this is the some of the
Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he chants.
Yes.
He sings this beautiful song to Gopinath. He sings, Mama nivedana suno Vishayi durjana Sada kamarata Kichu nahi mora guna Gopinath. Oh Gopinath, please hear me. Hear my request. That I am bound in this material world, this whirlpool of suffering. Please uplift me, attract my mind to you. And in this way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur prays, Gopinath, 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 Gopinath. These are the beautiful deities of Samapriya and Dhruva Maharaj Prabhu. They're worshipped so exquisitely. Each and every little detail of Gopinath attracts our minds, attracts our hearts. Thank you so much for sharing this beautiful darshan. And at this point, my father, he has to go to do artik at the temple. So we thank you, Bhadra Prabhu.
Thank you for allowing me to serve all of you. Thank you for giving me some mercy for allowing me to serve all of you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Everybody give Bhadra Prabhu a big Haribo! Haribo! Virtual Haribos!
So now you have to talk about this.
All right. Jai. We make our way to out right in here in the New Raman Reti, right outside of the temple of Gopinath is the temple of Gopeshwar Mahadev, Lord Shiva. Jai. Bum bum, Bholenath, bum bum, Bholenath, bum bum, Bholenath, bum bum. We're entering the temple of Lord Shiva, surrounded by beautiful gardens. Lord Shiva, he was deep in meditation. He wanted to enter into the Rasa Leela of Radha and Krishna. He heard Jai Gopeshwar Mahadev ki Jai. Jai Bam Bholenath Shankar Mahadev. We pray to Mahadev, to Lord Shiva. Srimad Gopeshwaram Vande Shankaram Karunamayam Sarvaklesha Haram Devam Vrindaranyam Rati Pradam. We offer our respects to Gopeshwar Mahadev. Shankaram Karunamayam. He removes all disturbances and he is most compassionate. Sarvaklesha Haram Devam. And he bestows attraction to the forests of Vrindavan. Vrindavana Vanipate Jaya Soma Soma Mole Sanaka Sananda Sanatana Naradedyaha Gopeshwara Vrajavilasi Yugangri Padme Prema Prayacha Nirupadi Namo Namaste. Oh, Gopeshwar Mahadev, you who hold the moon on your head, you are the protector. You are the guardian of Vrindavan. You are worshipped by Sanaka Sananda and all of the great sages. Please bestow on us who are having your darshan and who are hearing your glories, please bestow love for Radha and Krishna, the divine couple within our hearts. You who took the form of a gopi, Lord Shiva, he is the personification of ego, but that personification of ego took the form of a gopi by bathing in the beautiful kund, in the beautiful kund, and coming out as a gopi to enter into the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Because in the dance of Krishna, there is only one male. There is only one Purusha, and that is Krishna. And so even Shiva, who is also Mahapurusha, he took the form of a beautiful gopi girl so that he could dance with Radha and Krishna. And of course, his dance style is very unique. And so after some time of his dancing, they said, okay, Gopeshwar Mahadev, okay, you can be the guardian of the dance of the Rasa Mandali. And so the name Gopeshwar, many times the name Gopeshwar is she who is worshipped by the gopis. He who is worshipped by the gopis, right? Because the gopis would also worship this amazing form of Gopeshwar Mahadev. He's still that same form of Gopeshwar Mahadev is in Vrindavan, the one that the gopis worshipped. But we understand that the other meaning of Gopeshwar is he who worships, or she who worships the gopis, she who bows her head at the feet of the gopis. And here we have, we offer our gratitude to Bhakta Chris, who built this temple for Gopeshwar Mahadev. And thank you, Hita, for sharing us beautiful darshan with bael leaves offered to Lord Shiva. Shiva, Shiva, Hara Hara, Shiva, Shiva, Hara Hara Shiva Shiva 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 Hara Hara Om Namah Shivaya Bam Bholenath Shankar Mahadev Alak Niranjan Jai Ho Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Thank you so much for this beautiful darshan. As we said earlier, there are 5 guardians who allow us entrance into the land of Vrindavan. We offered our respects to Govardhan. Then we offer our respects now to Lord Shiva, the guardian of the Rasa Mandala. And we remember at this time the Yamuna River, the great river Yamuna. We remember Tulsi Maharani. And we remember the dust and the trees of Vrindavan, by whose grace we can maybe gain entrance in our hearts. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that he says, Mora man Vrindavan, my mind, my heart is Vrindavan. And so by chanting the holy names, we can manifest the abode of Radha and Krishna within our hearts, within our minds. We make our way to Shri Shri Radha Govindaji, the beautiful 7-story temple that was established by Srila Rupa Goswami. Radha Govinda Radhe, Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe, Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe, Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe, Shri Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe, Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe, Shri Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe, Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe, hey Shri Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe, Shri Radha Govinda Ji Ki Jai. We get the beautiful darshan of Shri Shri Radha Govinda. Go means cows. Go means the land, and go means our senses. So Govinda is the one who gives pleasure to the cows, who gives pleasure to the land, to Mother Earth, and gives pleasure to our senses. Our senses were continuously wanting to please them through so many external tastes and sounds and smells and sights and feelings. But Govindaji, the darshan of Govindaji, is a feast for the eyes, a feast for the ears, a feast for the mouth, a feast for our sense of touch. And so we chant to Govindaji. The temple of Govindaji was established, the deities of Govindaji were established by Rupa Goswami. And the temple of Govindaji is probably one of the most amazing architectures in all of Vrindavan. At one point, this temple was 7 stories tall. And it is said that Akbar, the great, the Mughal king Akbar, he gave donation for this temple to be built. But then I think it was his great grandson, or a few generations later, Aurangzeb, who was very inimical to the Hindu and Vaishnav practices. he saw that this temple, from Agra, from his capital in Agra, he could see the lights burning on top of this temple that was many, many miles away. But because it was 7 stories high, he could see the light burning. And so he sent his henchmen to go and break the temple down. And they broke down 5 stories of the temple. But before they could destroy the last 2 stories of the temple, I think there was some earthquakes or some very, very disastrous things happened, and they all lost their nerve to break the temple. And so to this day, the last two stories of Sri Sri Radha Govinda Dev's temple is still there. And of course, Govinda Dev is now worshipped in Jaipur. Eventually, the deity of Govindaji was moved to Jaipur. And the entire city of Jaipur, their lives to this day revolve around the worship of Govindaji. And the Mangalartiks of Govindaji are the most beautiful Mangalartiks. And here we have these beautiful deities of Radha Govinda that we have darshan of today, worshipped so wonderfully. I'm kind of forgetting whose deities these are today. I don't have my list in front of me, but they are exquisite. Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda Ji Ki Jai. Raghu, whose deities are these?
Radha and Ramai.
Radha and Ramais. Wow. Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe Shri Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe Shri Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe. Oh, we have to, of course, remember to offer this beautiful prayer to Radha Govinda Ji. Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumada Shrimad Ratnagar Simhasanasto Shrimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prishtalibhi Sevyamanam Smarami. Oh Govinda Ji, please engage our senses in your service. Shri Shri Radha Govinda Ji Ki Jai. Now we make our way to the final last 2 temples of Vrindavan, of our village of Vrindavan tour today. We make our way to the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, Nityananda Vat. Jai Nitai. Nitai, 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 Gauranga. Nitai, 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 Gauranga. Nitai, 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 Gauranga. Before we go, would Ramai and Radha like to share anything about their Radha Govinda temple?
Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
These Radha Govinda deities have been served by my parents some time ago for probably 15 years, and they went through a little transition, and they've recently come into our lives, and we're very grateful in their service. Thank you all for your service in doing this village of Vrindavan.
Jai. Thank you. Shri Shri Radha Govinda Ji Ki Jai. Nityananda Prabhu, when Nityananda Prabhu came to Vrindavan, he came looking for Krishna. And everyone thought, who is this mad person? Nityananda is an avaduta. He doesn't care about his surroundings. And he was completely in the mood of Nityananda, of Balaram, wearing a blue dhoti and 1 earring and a turban and holding a plow. And Nityananda Prabhu, he wandered all around Vrindavan saying, Kanai kothai, kanai kothai. Where is Krishna? Where is my Krishna? Where is my Kanai, my little brother? And in that way, Nityananda Prabhu wandered all around Vrindavan looking for his dear brother Krishna. In the place of Nityananda Vat, to this day, they have the symbol that the Chankazi gave to the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to allow them to be able to do kirtan in the streets. We know the famous story that Chankazi, he tried to stop the chanting of kirtan in the streets of Navadvip. And at one point, he even took the mridanga drum and he broke the mridanga drum on the ground, feeling so much envy towards the chanting of the devotees. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu and all of his associates, they gathered together in the thousands, and they had a peaceful protest, non-violent, peaceful protest through the streets. Allow us to chant the holy names of Hari. Who has the right to stop us to chant God's names? And they made their way to the house of the Chankazi, holding torches, burning torches. And the Chankazi, he thought, are they coming to burn my house down? Are they going to kill me? He was very afraid. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is the most magnanimous, most merciful. He is Mahavadanyaya. He came only to uplift all the world through the chanting of God's names. And the Chankazi was also a recipient of that mercy. Finally, after a beautiful dialogue, the Chankazi, he said, from now on, my family, none of my followers, none of my descendants will ever stop the chanting of the holy names. And so he gave them not a written certificate, like sometimes when I was younger, we used to go to we used to go do kirtan in the subway in Boston, and we needed to have a special certificate, a license allowing us to do kirtan there. So the Chankazi, he had his symbol, this beautiful symbol. I wish I had a picture of it, but it's a symbol of the Chankazi, but it has a tilak on it. And so the associates of Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would walk through the streets chanting and holding the symbol of the Chankazi, which gave them permission to chant Krishna's names in every town and village that they desired to chant in. And that symbol, that signia, is still there at Nityananda Vat, as are the jewels of Nityananda, on one of Nityananda Prabhu's necklaces. And I believe that Indradumna Maharaj has one of these jewels of Nityananda Prabhu that he worships very far out. Jai Nitai! Go to Haribol! Jai Nitai! And last but not least, the upholder of the universe, the smile of the universe, the brother of the universe, the sister and mother of the universe. We have Juggernaut, Baladev, Subhadra Maharani Ki Jai. And they have manifested today on their Rath cart because they could not stay away from their Rath cart. Although COVID tried to stop them from having Rath Yatras, they are now on their cart in the courtyard of our temple. And you can have their darshan today. When you go to visit the temple and you go to visit Krishna, Balarama, and Radhe Shyam, you can have the darshan of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Maharani. Jagannath is Krishna in complete ecstasy. He's God in ecstasy. And in that ecstasy, his eyes become big. His smile becomes wider. His hands go in. His feet enter into his body. These are ecstatic symptoms of God himself. And he's in that ecstasy because he is missing his devotees. He's missing all of us. And that's why his hands are spread out. He's calling each one of us to him to embrace him and to give us his embrace. Nilachala nivasaya nityaya paramatmane bhalabhadra subhadrabhyam jagannathaya te namaha. Oh Jagannath, you are the source of Brahman. You are the Paramatma, the super soul in everyone's heart, and you are the ecstatic manifestation of Bhagavan, of Godhead. We pray that your smile is always in our vision. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Me. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Me. Srila Prabhupada said that Lord Jagannath, he is the Lord of the children, and he is even the Lord of meat eaters and drunkards. And that's why our Juggernaut, the beautiful deities of Mother Yadunandan and Govinda Sire, who we see there right now serving them, these deities, they make their way out to all of the beaches of Florida to spread their love and to share their love with all the people of Florida who gather on the beaches. And we have, of course, we have 7 or 8 Rath Yatras every year with these beautiful Jagannath deities. They're so merciful. And I believe that these Juggernaut that we're seeing right now are the original Juggernauts that Prabhupada saw when he came to Baltimore. I may be making stories up, but I believe they are. And there is a Jagannath temple in Vrindavan, and Vrindavan is non-different from Puri. Puri is non-different from Vrindavan. Even in Jagannath Puri, Lord Jagannath and the temple of Jagannath is surrounded by 8 Mahashivalingas or 8 Rudras. And these 8 Rudras represent the 8 cowherd boys. And there are 8 Shaktis or 8 goddesses. And these 8 Shaktis represent the 8 gopis of Radha and Krishna. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he, in his complete ecstasy, he lived in Jagannath Puri for, I believe, 16 years, 12 or 16 years, and attended Rath Yatra every year and expressed the greatest moods of Mahabhav, of the most deep and esoteric moods of Srimati Radharani in separation from Krishna. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in the mood of Radharani in separation from Krishna, and Jagannath is Krishna in the mood of separation from Srimati Radharani. And so right now we may also be feeling some separation from the bhaktas. We may be feeling some separation from the devotees and from the village and from the practical building and construction of village of Vrindavan. And this service takes our energy and keeps us engaged in devotional service with other devotees, and we get to visit the temple and chant, and the kids get to be involved by dressing up and going to the different temples and bathing Lord Shiva and giving out sweets, and such a beautiful mood that is created by our temple, village of Vrindavan team. And this year we may be feeling separation, but Lord Jagannath has come out to see us. So please, let's all go visit him. And I've been told by the Village of Vrindavan team that if you like, you can go to the place where the Village of Vrindavan is built every year, and you can go and do your own parikram. You can go and walk. There's 108 steps there. So you can go and walk, chant 1 round and walk on those 108 steps. And there's a map there. They've put a map underneath the tree of a Village of Vrindavan. So that map can represent can represent for us what is inside. Because as Confucius say, inside is bigger than outside. So thank you very much for allowing us to share the glories of Sri Vrindavan Dham. And I pray that this virtual parikram, virtual tour gives solace to our hearts, and that we can bring the mood of Vrindavan in our hearts. And when we all are able to gather once again, then that mood of Vrindavan manifests all together through the chanting of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Would you, Raghunath, would you take us through all the temples one last time while I sing some Mahamantra? Maybe we could go through all of them as we just chant a little bit more kirtan for 2 minutes.
Well, not everyone's here anymore, but that's perfect because it's just like what happens every year for Village of Vrindavan. By the time the kirtan comes around, some of the temples are already gone. Okay. But Krishnadhamma, I think Krishnadhamma will do that though.
All right.
Okay, so I will.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavana, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavana, Vrindavana Dham, Jaya Vrindavana Dham, 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 Vrindavana Dham, Jaya Vrindavana Dham. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Vrindavana Dham, Vrindavana Dham, Vrindavana Dham, Jaya Vrindavana Dham, Jaya Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Jaya Radhe Shyam, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai, Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Jai, Village of Vrindavan ki Jai. All glories to all the devotees and all of your beautiful deities and your service to these deities that are going on, Nitya Seva, eternally. May we all be blessed to have Vrindavan manifest within our hearts. Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Jai.
Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna. I don't know if we're still streaming, but thank you. I'm not recording. Thank you, everyone.
This was streamed on, was it Iskon Alachua YouTube or something?
Yes.
Okay. Hi.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was amazing.
Yeah, it was. Thank you, Vishy.
Haribolo.
That was awesome.
Hey, Dhamma and Gora. I don't know if, I guess the YouTube, I don't know if YouTube actually records it. It must record it, right? But I recorded it on here too.
I think we're still live, guys.
Oh no,
Yeah, we might be still alive. Hey, I recorded it on Zoom. I'm not really sure how you can access that afterward.
Thank you, everyone. That was so sweet.
Yeah, thank you.
Jai. Happy
Jai.
Janmashtami.
Happy Janmashtami. Haribol.
Haribol.
Haribol, everyone. Jai. Thank you.
Haribol, Haribol. Prashadam ki jai. Haribol. Ahora aquí comiéndonos las papas con todos.
Tomorrow probably is appearance day. And then Radharani is next Tuesday. And then before it's Lalita, I think.
En 2 semanas, entonces la verán.
Sí, Lalita Shasti. Y then Maya Punadas at all the copies that run like Sudevi, Mangadevi.
¿Quién es su Devi en las 8 gotas?
Es la primera de la derecha.
De aquí.
De la derecha, la primera. La primera de
Ayer,
acá.
ayer vimos memorar como con su Devi.
Sudevi y Mangadevi. Así está.
Su Devi, Rangadevi.
¿Cómo se cierra? Porque todavía estoy.
O sea, su Devi.
Bien volado.
Su Devi está del lado de Radharani.
Sí, es la más alejada.
La más alejada, la última.
Ajá,
Empezando de Radha, la última.
ajá.
Ah, ok.
Qué raro
Hoy también.
salir.